here we are. I feel like I don't know, I'm just riding the wave right now, like I'm feeling inspired. And I wanted to talk about, why I've chose YouTube and why now. I think, yeah, it's just important for context and also something that, as I take myself and others on this journey, it will make sense. And I think, starting with why YouTube, I think for me, I've always found YouTube quite an interesting place. There's something for everybody. And I think as time's gone on, I've been sort of more drawn to YouTube as a platform for, it's just, I think, I want to say it's social media, but it's not social media. I think it's more, for me, it feels like knowledge and information sharing. And so, yes, whilst there are communities that are built on YouTube and you can have conversations in the comments, like people aren't really going there for that. Specifically, it's not something that I find myself on, like doom scrolling. Like I think that there's a level of intentionality with YouTube and I find myself there because I'm interested in something. And so even if when I go into the comments, it's more about asking and diving deeper into the subject or to ask a question because I've got something from the video or got something from the information that the person wanted to share. And so hopefully moving forward, that's something that I'm going to be able to cultivate. I also feel that longer form content just feels better for me. It feels more suited to the world in which I exist, that I want to create. I think the kind of like attention economy and the short, sharp and fast videos that you get, or the reels, which are technically short videos that you get on things like Instagram and TikTok, for me, they don't really do anything or grab my attention. There are times, and I'm not gonna say that I don't fall prey to it, but there are times that I do find myself scrolling. But I don't even know if that's out of habit anymore, or it's in a habit that I need to break. And it's not that I'm necessarily interested in the content that I'm consuming. I mean, not to judge, but who is really sometimes, like, do we even remember half of the videos that we scroll through and consume? But off topic to go back on topic, I think that, as I mentioned, the longer form content for me just feels better, more comfortable, more intentional, and also like it feels like something that I want to make versus something I feel pressured to make. I think that for a long time I've had thoughts, feelings and resistance to certain social media platforms. And it's not because I don't agree with them. There just was a time where I felt that I had to be making, or that I felt the pressure to make this content that goes on social media so people can see what I do and see what I'm about. But also, with that in mind, for context, I'm not a content creator in that way. And so I don't know, there was just always a bit for me that didn't fit. And I think that, and this is something that maybe I can get into in another video at another time, but like, I think in the last few years, I've been in a very transitional period in my personal and professional lives anyway. So it's like, I didn't feel the need or feel called really to be making like content or like, sharing things about my job or, sharing things about anything in relation to me really, because I didn't feel that, or didn't really know what I wanted to share or what value it was going to add, And so bringing it back to YouTube, I think that, for a long time, it's been something on my vision board. And I've been saying that I could see myself creating YouTube content. I would like to create YouTube content. I also feel like the things that I've planned for the future and the direction that I'm going in and kind of the value and the things that I want to share you know, they feel suited to a platform like this. They feel suited to, or they feel they need the, and not to feel suited, but they need the time that long form content can give them. So yeah, I think there's just a few of my kind of reasons for YouTube. I also feel like another thing that I'm becoming very aware of, and this is something that I was brought to my attention quite recently, is that, like, you know, we are in the age of AI, and why AI necessarily, or like language models or, you know, bots aren't new. The kind of more generative content that they're creating is. And I think that the one thing AI, or in my opinion, and based on things that I've been kind of looking at this point in time, and I might stand corrected in the future, but AI hasn't lived, so it can't tell stories or give unique perspectives like a human being can, or somebody that has had unique experience or lived a life. So I think for me now, it's about documenting my own stories and experiences and creating legacy. And through that legacy, you know, I'm also able to share. And also, like, you know, I feel like I get a lot from people's stories and what they share, and it gives me points of, or pause for thought moments, or it makes me think about things that I'd like to do, or, you know, it teaches me new things. And I hope that in time, or over time, these videos will become that place, or serve that purpose for other people. Why now? I think why now is quite a simple part of all of this, and it's because I've put it off for so long. I've put it off to the point of frustration, to the point of anger, to the point of upset. I don't know why I had such big blocks around getting in front of a camera, or talking about myself, or being visible, or giving access, or being vulnerable. But I think that, you know, or I believe that everything in its time, right? It happens when it's supposed to happen. And I think that the time is now. I mean, this is my second video, like, and I mean, I even just want to point out that I haven't even really thought about anything other than getting in front of the camera and recording. Like, I'm still wearing my gym kit, you know. I might look slightly different as well to the last video, because I had my hair braided earlier. So, like, I'm literally trying to do this as raw and as in the moment as possible. And then over time, the cute things will come in. Like, there'll be the graphics, there might be the music, there'll be some editing if I feel it's cool, you know, if I feel it needs it. But right now, I think what I'm trying to do, and I mentioned this in my previous video, is I'm trying to build the reps. So going back to my sort of prompt of why now? Why now is because I've got to start somewhere, right? I've got to hold myself accountable, and I need to show up for me. So yeah, I think that this is the time, and I think that this is where I start to introduce myself and this version of me to the world, you know. I've got a lot of years under my belt, and I think that, I mean, there's part of me that's like, you know, you could have started this a long time ago, but that just probably wasn't the time, you know. I think that as I enter my mid-years, and you can always, like, try and guess in the comments how old I am. Some of you might already know, but I do feel grounded and, you know, certain in myself, and knowledgeable and wise. And I think that, you know, I'm even saying that out loud, you know, because I have to own that. I have to own these things. And whilst not always are my opinions, my views, my stories, my teaching is going to be helpful for everybody, like, they're valid and they have a place, and for some they will be. So it's like, I just guess that, yeah, I just think that now is the time, right? Now is as good as time as any, right? I think if it, even more so, like, with everything that's going on in the world, and we all need support, and we all need motivation from others. So if these videos can be that, then, you know, that in itself is a gift to me and to others. But also, you know, I think that it's about me leveling up, right? And I think that, you know, one of the things that I definitely know is that my fear of being seen, or my, at some point, shrinking myself or dimming my light, you know, these things are holding me back. And I need to overcome them. And if me doing this and building, you know, building my, not, I don't want to say building my ability, but if me producing these videos is helping me to overcome a fear of being seen, fear of being heard, you know, then I need to do that. And I think we live in an age where this is kind of the norm. So I'm giving it a go. And yeah, I think that, you know, it's also going to be good for me to film these videos in the way that I'm filming them, because, you know, over time, there'll be a way that I can measure my growth. And, you know, things may change, things may evolve, but I think it's going to be really important for me to start documenting the things that I want to document. So again, that feels like I've just basically channeled maybe, I don't know, some thoughts, some feelings. There was a loose subject in, you know, this kind of like, why YouTube, why now? And, you know, these are things that, you know, as I find my way and figure it out with this type of content, that I might touch on more detail in a more structured way. But at the minute, I think that the main thing for me with these videos is around almost keeping a, oh, excuse me, almost keeping like an online journal. And I guess it's just having like a space to put these things and over time alchemize them into something else. So again, thank you for watching. If you watched, I thank you for being here if you decided to stay, and I will talk to you soon.